Hello, and welcome to episode 91 of the Book Wars Pod. Today we're covering Most Wanted, chapters 1 through 10. I'm Miranda, here with Kristen, Kate, and Chris. We got the whole crew today.
What up?
It is 10,000 degrees in Portland today, so my beverage is already sweating, and I cannot wait to open it and have something cold to put in or near my body. So,
Same.
what the fuck is everybody else drinking?
Oh, this book's by Ray Carson. We'll say that again, but Miranda didn't say it.
Oh, Most Wanted by Ray Carson.
Hey, Ray Carson. Oh, yeah, I just went to check the weather, and I have the NOAA weather app, and it's literally just like this scrolling heat advisory on my like dongle thing, whatever it's called. I don't know.
It's a widget. Jesus, dongle.
Yeah, sorry. You're right.
Honestly, like possibly the worst like new tech word of the past decade.
What, dongle?
Dongle?
Or dongle.
No,
Dongle
dongle.
Wars Pod.
I would say it's iPad, but
That's true. I feel like this is like a male versus female thing.
Yeah, nobody with a uterus was
in that room.
in that room when they made that decision.
This is
I mean,
why
that's super clear.
you need women. Chris made so many dongle/dingle jokes when we were in Ireland, and it was the most horrible thing I've ever
There's a
experienced.
place called There's a city called Dingle.
Yeah.
And I found
Yeah.
it entertaining.
I think my family's from there. I don't really know.
From Dingle Dongle?
Does that make you a dongle, Kristen?
I am a dongle. We all knew that already.
Oh.
Yeah, what are you fuckers
God.
drinking?
Yeah, what?
Okay, so I am drinking a fucking Modelo, and okay, so the past 2 times I've tried to have a Modelo out of this fucking 6-pack. The first time, if you've been listening to the pod for the past 3 weeks, Chris drank out of it by accident.
Okay, I had like one sip.
You had like 2, and that was too many.
It was a pretty good pull, though. You were really going after that Modelo.
Thank
It
you.
was-
Yeah, you know,
was
it was
also
hot
have
out.
a big face mouth.
What?
You do. You have a large mouth compared to like Kate. As far
This
as
got weird.
spacing.
It's got weird.
I'm just telling.
Everything
I'm
about
just
this got
saying.
weird.
You have more
Let's go back to
volume.
talking about dongles. That was more normal.
You have a larger mouth volume.
No comment, Kristen. I'll see you in the Sweat Wars DMs later on Twitter. And okay, so and then the second time at a Modelo, I put it on the floor next to my bed while I was like trying to figure out how to wrap dishes because we've started packing, and then Chris kicked it over.
Oh no.
That tracks.
So
Okay, it was entirely not my fault.
I didn't lay any blame. I explained what happened.
No. Miranda was clearly laying blame in her head, so I was clarifying.
Anyway, I just want to have this fucking Modelo unmolested. So Chris, stay the fuck away from my beer.
Unmodelested.
Chris, what are you drinking?
This one was asking. He was making fun of me before we started recording about how lit I'm gonna get off one fucking Modelo. You've got a double bourbon, so you can eat my ass.
So I've got the very last of my 1-8 Distilling Untitled number 13 whiskey because we're going there this weekend for my birthday / going away party. So I'm gonna buy another bottle for the road,
Ooh.
as they say.
Hey Kate, when we get offline, can you text me when Chris's birthday is? I don't think it's in my calendar.
It's next Wednesday.
Well, not everyone knows when your birthday is.
I'll put it in your calendar.
That was not judgmental. I was
Okay.
telling you.
I know, but I didn't know if you wanted everybody to know when your birthday was.
Chris would love for people to know when his birthday is because he's never had that experience before because his parents forget it every single year.
No,
Oh,
they
that's
forgot
a
it once.
fucking
Now my
mood.
mom's crying.
That's
forgot
a
it.
fucking mood.
Now Noelle's crying.
Listen, they've
My
forgotten
dad's
at
always
least
like,
twice.
"How old are you?"
Oh, God. To be fair, I don't know how old I
Yeah,
am.
I also don't know how old I am.
That's fair,
like the
but,
worst
like,
when
he
you go.
used to do it when I was like younger, like when it mattered a little bit more.
Yo, when I was young, you know, like when you're young and you're traveling and like you go through TSA and they look at your ID and they're like, you know, like making fun of you, like testing you, like, oh, how old are you? Like making sure it's not a fake. I like would legit forget, and it would like take me a minute.
It's so hard now that we're like above 21. It stopped mattering.
I know, right? Like, how old are you? I've peaked. Okay, is that what you want me to say?
Listen, I peaked in middle school. What do you want from me?
Oh my god.
I peaked in 2016,
Can someone ask us what we're drinking so that
What?
Hey, Kristen,
Well-
what are we drinking?
Oh my god. Wait, Chris, did you? Never mind. Never mind. Yes. What are you drinking?
we're having a Two-Town Cider House made Marion blackberry hard cider, made with Marion blackberries, 6% alcohol by volume. The profile is ripe and juicy, made Marion unite. Oh, ripe and juicy. I can't read. Made Marion unites Northwest apples with whole locally grown Marion berries. The crown jewel of all blackberry varieties, Marion berries are a true testament to the bounty of Oregon. Boldly crafted in Oregon. Friends from 2 nearby towns banded together on a mission to bring cider back to the people. True craft cider made using whole fruit and no shortcuts, which is why it's called Two Towns Cider House.
It's
And
tasty.
it's fucking good. And they also have a pineapple one, but don't get it in cans. Sorry, Two Towns. It's much better on draft. I don't know what being in a can does to the pineapple, but it's not great.
I mean, to be fair, if like you're like me and all your grandpa fed you in the summer was canned pineapples because we had no money, I don't know what it is about like the quality of the fucking aluminum, but it just makes them taste like a can.
Yeah, I
And
don't
it's
know
gross.
what it is. Yeah, okay.
It's
The only
not
reason I say
pleasant.
that is because like all 4 of our mutual friends actually happened to be in Portland because she has to go to University of Oregon for a graduation or some shit for one of her aunts, I think. And she had the Two Towns pineapple cider last night when we were out at food carts having poke, and it was so fucking good.
That is incredible. Thank you.
So, who wants to talk about Star Wars?
Me.
If we must.
Okay.
Yay. All right. Shall we start with Kristen's favorite question?
18 years old.
I don't think that's
We
the
are
answer to that question.
18 years old, years before the Battle of Yavin.
That's right.
So, all right. Oh, Christ almighty. So, if you're new to the podcast, the question we ask at the top of the book, which Kristen usually doesn't know the answer to, is when and where are we in galaxy far, far away space-time?
I don't know when we are, but we are on Corellia, which is the planet that makes the ships.
Are
Correct.
we about like 15 years before Yavin?
That's
Is that accurate?
That's close, right, Chris?
We are, hang on. 15, 16, yeah.
Yeah.
So yes.
Well done.
Thank you.
Math.
So we are
Rude.
we are just to walk people through the reasoning. So Solo itself takes place the bulk of the story 9 to 10 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Yes.
And we know that because Chewie is 190 and he was 180 in Revenge of the Sith.
All right, yes.
I
And
don't know
then-
why we know that, but okay.
Well, Han says 190, you look great because humor writing. But
Yes.
True.
and then I think Pablo noted that Chewie was 180 at some point, probably in a visual dictionary.
That makes sense. And we also know that Han is 33 as of the time of A New Hope.
Okay.
We do know that.
Yes.
So we also know that the
32,
beginning of
33.
Solo is beginning of Solo is 3 years before the bulk of Solo, thanks to a very helpful caption that says 3 years later.
It's 4 years.
It's 4 years? No, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Friends of the pod, look it up. Tell Chris he's wrong.
I'm specifically not fighting Kate on it because I trust her.
Wow.
So friends of the
Wow.
pod, tell
Do
me
you
if my
want a
trust is
cookie
misplaced.
for not being a dick?
No, I see. I
Christ.
I remember that because I remembered it was not like a round or like a number you would expect.
3.72 years before the beginning of whatever the fuck this is.
Yes. Anyway, the prologue of Solo is about 4 years before the bulk of Solo when he's like being a mud trooper and trying not to die.
Yeah.
Mud. Okay. Cool.
And then, so that puts us back at, hang on, math.
Oh my god.
I spent a good hour trying to figure out this like space
That puts us
math.
13 years before Yavin. And then this is, I think, another 3 years before Yavin.
So
yes,
16.
So 16. So this is 16 before Yavin.
So what Miranda said 5 fucking minutes ago.
No, I wasn't
No, I know.
proving her wrong. I was explaining our logic.
I know. I was giving you
I
shit.
love how when you explain our logic and I'm just sitting here like
Also, we could
Why-
do that.
why would I know any of that?
We could do that and say that Han was 33-ish in A New Hope,
No,
and
he's
says that he thinks he's 18 in this book.
Correct.
Much easier math.
Yes, it is.
Math.
But-
math.
Leave it to Chris to make numbers even more difficult for people like me who can't read.
Sometimes people want to know. Wikipedia. 3 years later, Han has been expelled from the Imperial Flight Academy on Carida.
I knew he
He's
was
a
gonna
bad
look
boy.
it up. I hate you. hope you
Wait,
feel
hang
better.
on. Wait, is that the academy actually went to in canon? Because I know that's true in Legends.
Yes, that is the academy he went to in canon.
Okay, but how long has he been a mud trooper? Does that...
No, it's like 3 years later, has been expelled and is serving as a mud trooper.
Fine.
The caption says 3 years later.
Chris? Give me your phone. I'm going to throw it out the window.
Are you guys done, or can we keep doing the podcast?
Anyway, point is we're 15 to 16 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Whoa.
We're in year 3 to 4 of the Empire.
So we've got Han and Kira, whom we know from lots of stuff, but mostly from Solo.
You might
Han
know
from
them from
lots of
such classics as Solo, a Star Wars story.
Jesus Christ.
And also other Star Wars movies, but
Yes.
not Rogue One.
I will say...
Different white lady.
The interesting thing, I guess, about Solo and especially most one... Oh my god.
I don't even don't look at me. I don't even know.
I'm quitting the pod, guys. Surprise.
What was the question?
There wasn't a question. I was talking.
Oh. Han and Kira are 18. That's my second favorite question.
Question. Oh my god.
I like how Kristen just gave up hope on re-entering the conversation and so started her own.
I'm very uncomfortable with silence.
Also, it's very hot here, and our brains are...
Our brains are probably cooking in our skulls is part of the
That's-
issue.
Fan-fucking-tastic. As I was saying. So...
What just happened?
Oh my god. I think Corellia has been canon in the rebooted canon for a while. Like, I think we know that already that Han is from there, but I think Solo is the first time we like visually get to see Corellia, and of course Most Wanted is the first time we get to actually really explore Corellia, because the most we see of Corellia in Solo is the sewer. I mean, I guess that's a lot of what we see here too, but I mean, it's like the sewer, and I'm gonna drive this car and crash it into stuff, and then I'm gonna escape without my girlfriend, and that's kind of it.
Yeah,
That's also most of this, except for that last part.
yeah, he's definitely got a little pattern going on there.
Yeah, Han Solo's life, he should really go to therapy for that. Do you have any patterns, Han Solo, that you just can't break out of?
Oh, wait, I have my third favorite question. Shit. It was going to be about seeing something before. Fuck. Where did it go? It'll come back to me. Sorry.
I do appreciate that this book lays out very, very specifically around how old they are. Like, that is a question that is asked and answered very pointedly. And I was like, oh, Kristen's going to be so happy to know how old they
Yeah.
are.
Right.
It really, really was.
I also love that they don't know how old they are. I really like that. I love that detail that Han doesn't know how fucking old he is. Because why would he?
But also, it also shows like how shitty his dad was, because like he had a parent. Like they could have been celebrating his birthday or whatever the fuck it was. They just didn't, because his dad was an alcoholic.
Yep.
And like Kira too, like she had a really shitty life, and we saw kind of where she grew up, and she's like, well, I lived there for a bit, and I think it's been like this many cycles, so I'm probably about 18. It's unclear. This entire
Kira too
planet
uses math.
is a shit goblin of a wasteland.
It's true, Chris. You know who else is a shit goblin of a wasteland? Christopher. Just stop talking, okay? Chris, women are talking. Shut up. Yes. To all of the above. It's just I just kind of like picked out that detail though about like Han's dad being so crappy, just because like, you know, when Sulo's telling his sad story about why he's with the White Worms, she's just like, and she just cannot find it in her to muster up some pity, with good reason, because she never had any, like, she doesn't know who her parents are. She literally grew up in silo territory and basically worked in a fucking gulag. And yeah, she's like, oh, your parents died in a horrible accident, you had it good. Which, what must her life have been like if she was like, Sulo, you're an orphan, you have it good.
Okay, but to be fair, like, obviously super shitty that he's an orphan and that his parents died and his brother's also a shit goblin. But like, he had a really nice life on Coruscant. Like, his mom was working for some like freighting company. They're like, let's just go to Corellia for a bit, and he's like taking all sorts of extracurricular classes because he's a big old fucking nerdling. And now he, like, I mean, it's a very different kind of tragedy for him to end up in the White Worms, because obviously, like, he's fallen a long way.
Yeah.
But there are so many reasons why Kira's like, what the fuck? I can't even deal with this. Like,
oh, absolutely.
This is not a sad, like, this is not a pity party for you.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not even blaming her. Like, honestly, like, we make a lot of jokes about how my soul is basically a murder droid, but I relate to Kira a lot. Like, in the middle of reading this, there's that bit where Sulo is trying to explain his faith in the Force to Han, and Kira doesn't really quite understand him because he only speaks Huttese. And she's just like, what is he talking about now? And Han's like, he's talking about his feelings. She just goes, ew. And I was just like, it's me.
The best.
So yes. But let's dive a little bit more actually into what I guess makes Kira tick and Han as well, because they're definitely played as foils to one another, and that's true in Solo the movie, but especially Most Wanted. So I think the first thing that really becomes clear is the difference in what their motivations are for becoming head of the White Worms.
I hate that it's called head, because I just giggled every single time.
They want to
Madam.
get head.
They want to get head. What if they get head?
Sorry, Mom.
I'm just saying.
Okay, Chris, you can talk now.
This is a children's book.
But this is an adult podcast.
This is an adult podcast.
This is a very adult podcast.
books.
Oh my god. This is a YA book, by the way. If you want to hear us talk more about YA and why you should read it and not be a dick about it, then please see our second bonus episode, I think, where we talk. Yes, one of our earlier ones, where we talk to Poppy Ashrade of the Parabatai Pod about YA as a category of book and why people shit on it so much and why they shouldn't. So, yeah, dive back into the archives for that.
One of my favorite discussions. It was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry for derailing that.
What were we talking about? Han and Kira's motivations?
Why they want to get head.
Han barely has motivations. Like,
Okay, that's rude. I'll let you finish your point, but go on.
I mean, like
hungry.
he does. Like, he wants head, as they say.
Guys! Oh my god. Poor Ray Carson might actually listen to this. She liked Porkchop's picture, okay?
Listen.
Rick Carson has excellent opinions on vegetables too. Fun fact.
Wait, explain.
Very specific.
Explain
Oh,
that,
I just
please.
remember a previous Twitter interaction that we had with her where
Oh, yes.
she tweeted that eggplant is a garbage vegetable, which is an absolutely correct opinion. And I noted it as such and as from the pod Twitter, and she appreciated it. So
We
we're
appreciate
basically
you.
best friends now.
We appreciate Ray Carson's book.
And
don't
her correct ass opinions on eggplant.
We don't appreciate Chris, but continue what you were
Yeah,
saying.
well, what else is new? Anyway, so like Han, like
Speaking of being hungry, let me talk about eggplant. Anyway, go on.
yeah, Han wants to be head for like, you know,
Sorry, I just really had to stop myself from saying the other joke that would have been a running bit. Speaking of head.
Speaking of head,
And eggplants.
Yes, thank you. We got it. We've now beat the horse to death again.
does everyone get it? Can we explain the joke?
Oh
Okay.
my god.
Anyway, Chris, what were you saying? about
Motivations. Han's motivations. Chris doesn't
Han, like,
think
he
Han
wants
has
to eat.
motivation.
He likes food, but he also like wants to like work on his speeder and have more freedom. Whereas Kira like actually wants to be head because she can like again eat food, but also like have power and have nice things. And like she's more goal oriented, whereas Han is more like, I don't know, it'd be nice if I could poop in private. Like, I don't know. I assume the position of head comes with a private, like, fucking hole in the sewer.
Great.
Sure.
They bothered to put a curtain around it. I just want you all
Private
to know.
refresher.
What?
Private refresher.
Unlike Weg, who just had to have a robot watch him pee.
Yeah,
that
it was
one
weird.
time. Chris, I told you, I gave you a potato. Why the fuck are
have
you
the
playing
potato.
with the fucking cord on the floor
I'm
with
not
your
pla-
foot?
I'm not playing with the cord. There's something on the ground.
Yeah, or you're playing with whatever the fuck garbage is on the ground. That's great.
Big ass crumb from when Kate dropped a crumb when she was eating chips.
I'm throwing
And
it
now
at
you're throwing it at me.
Anyway,
It's great. It's fantastic.
yeah, so
Chris, squeeze your potato.
this is a horrible episode, guys.
Even for us.
I know this is garbage. So, but yeah, Kira has definitely already absorbed that power means security, power means survival, and so she literally started at the bottom, and now she's here, which is still definitely the bottom, but less bottom than working at the
Literally
silo.
In the sewers, but literally the sewers instead of the place they literally call the bottom.
Yes.
Listen, we
That-
did not do
yes.
this. Ray Carson wrote this book. There's a place in the city called the bottom. I don't know what you want me to do
The
about
bottoms.
this.
Plural butts. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bottoms.
So the thing too about Kira, and like, I don't know if it's necessarily her motivations, but you can tell that she really thinks about becoming head more than Han does, because he's like, oh, I know I'm in the running, and like it's kind of this little crew. We're like the oldest. We're the wittiest.
That one boy has
I-
those dogs.
They can go out and-
I see you and I acknowledge you, Miranda.
Thank you.
Good lord. They can go out in the sunlight without sparkling.
But like Kira's actively thinking at one point when she's on her mission, she's like, hey, I'm pretty good at this. Like, I took this initiative, totally unwarranted. I should not have done that. I'm probably going to die later. But what if instead of dying, like I became head and then got to like mentor people to also take this initiative?
Right. I thought that was really interesting how she wants to like cultivate other people, because like we never really, at least not yet, we haven't really seen her in a position where, even in Solo, in a position where she can do that yet, but she wants to get there so that she can, have people who are inherently just super, super loyal to her because they owe her lots of stuff. That's one thing though that I guess Han and Kira have in common. They understand the power of people owing them favors, which I thought was really interesting. Like, Han is not, he doesn't need a lot, right? He wants food and he wants to go fast. And that's kind of it, which is not surprising. Like his thinking big is that he wants to fly, or drive rather, a speeder, because that's the closest he is ever going to come to actually flying a ship, or so he thinks. So yeah, no, it's interesting that his childhood was a little less shitty than Kira's, but his aspirations are still definitely like on the ground, kind of quite literally, whereas Kira's just like, how far up this ladder can I climb? I also thought, like, I mean, you can kind of see that like immediately when Lady Proxima's giving them both the two sides of their mission, and they have very different reactions to her. Like just kind of appraisals of her person. Like Kira's like, this person is a mentor to me. Like I could, I can learn from like how she's running this gang. Whereas Han is just like, this bitch gross. And that's like it.
I mean,
yeah, that was like kind of the point that I was gonna build on, Kate. So thank you for introducing it. I was more gonna go the route of explaining it as like Kira is much more willing to like lie to herself than Han is.
Ooh, yeah.
Because like she is obviously very, very smart, because when Han starts to be like, yo, shut the fuck up, we cannot go back to the White Worms, Proxima's literally just gonna fucking yeet us.
Which was
she's
true.
She's like, but, and he's like, no fucking buts, you know I'm right, even though you don't want me to be right.
No buts, only the bottom.
No buts, only the bottom.
Great.
But I mean, like,
Possible
we see
episode
that
title right there.
she's so much more willing to lie to herself about like what possibilities she has, but she's also like much more willing to play by like the rules of the power structure she's within, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And we can talk about that in a hot second, because I think the second thing you said about power structures is still very true of her in Solo, but the first one I think kind of changes as she gets older. But
Totally.
yeah. And speaking of making plans, what do you want, Chris? Oh yeah, you were gonna talk. Sorry.
I was going to talk, so I raised my hand.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you.
To your point about like Han knows the power of favors, does he though? I'm not convinced he does.
He gave the cute, creepy old man a cookie.
No. He understands as a general principle that it is good to make friends, but like Kira like understands, even this young, like Kira understands on like a psychological level why it is good to have people owe you. Han is kind of just like, yeah, here's a cookie. It'll work out for me in the long run. Like I feel like it's classic Han, and this is like very much a credit to Ray Carson, who I think just absolutely nails Han.
Oh god,
in this
totally.
book.
Her
And
Han is amazing.
Kira too, but specifically Han, because like I feel like Han's thing is always with him this luck that he talks about, this uncanny luck that he has that lets things work out despite the fact that he has no fucking idea what's going on. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's very much what's happening here. Like, he just trusts his gut, but that's not the same thing as understanding, I should give Paolo a cookie because I might need allies later. I feel like he's just like, my gut feeling is I should give this little creature a cookie. Okay, here is a cookie.
Yeah. He's literally like fucking Domino from X-Men. It's fascinating.
Actually, though, so that's what I mean. I don't think he understands anything. I think he acts and he like reaps the rewards of those actions because he's lucky, and occasionally the consequences of those actions.
So here's a thought I'm going to put out there, which I don't know is a question so much as it's a thought, but when he is talking about Kira to begin with, before they start going on their misadventure, he thinks she's snobby and she thinks she's cold and standoffish. How Han might not understand the power of favors because he's not a tactician, and we're going to talk about that in a hot second. But how much of him currying allies is kind of due to the fact that he's a dude and Kira's a woman?
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's, you can look all the way back to A New Hope and how Leia and Han interact, and how he is the moron who literally just chases stormtroopers down a hallway until they realize there's only one of him.
My favorite thing ever. Yes.
Like, so and he gets, brave and comic relief, whereas Leia is in the dialogue and just quite literally throughout her existence the one who needs to save their skins.
Right. And whereas Kira's like cold and calculating.
Yeah.
And I think to tie that a little bit to what we were just talking about, like I think Han does kind of understand the importance of like cultivating relationships, but I don't think he views it in the way that Kira does, like obviously. Because you know, Kira has an end goal in mind, and maybe I'm just repeating what you were saying earlier, Kate. Han just kind of was like, oh, I'll be nice to this person. Feels like a good idea. But like we see him doing that all the time. Like he has built up a relationship with this droid such that the droid, you know, with his like almost dying, whatever the breath equivalent is for a droid, like throws this hollow cube at him, or Data fucker, and
yes,
it's like they don't seem to know each other that well, but they've built something up. And like obviously Han wasn't thinking about that when he started talking to Tool.
Right.
Whereas if Kira were to like meet Tool, she'd be like, or earlier on than she did, it's like, okay, well, what can I gain from this? She's much more, like you guys said, calculating, and she's thinking several steps ahead of where she is. And maybe this leans into the tactical conversation, whereas Han's always just kind of flying by the seat of his pants.
Right. I mean, it really feels like kind of a manifestation of him in The Force Awakens. I always talk my way out of it because he like that's how he builds relationships with people. Like he knows he's charming, and it'll be fine, probably, maybe.
What was the second time?
Oh, Harrison Ford.
God bless it. Yeah, so tactical styles. I mean, it kind of extends from their motivations, right? Like Kira's interested in climbing the power ladder, and she knows that to do that, she has to be smart and she has to think about everything. Like Han, in a very typical Han line that it says much more about him than it says about literally anybody else, is like, this girl never stops thinking.
Yeah, as a negative.
Yes, exactly. Which is fucking incredible.
No, like that's what I'm saying. His internal monologue is just absolutely perfect.
Oh,
like,
it's amazing.
He is so, and it's not even a lack of self-awareness. It's like, it's an understanding of himself, and like he almost doesn't have an internal monologue because he doesn't talk to himself and he doesn't plan. He just acts.
Right. Yeah, which of course, Kira and Han are of course driving each other bonkers because Kira's like, well, we can do this or we can do this or we can do this, but this is probably the best option. Plan B if that goes wrong. And Han's just like, can we just do it? Can we just like run outside with 10 blasters and start screaming? Maybe that'll do it.
Who says
Can we go fast?
One thing just I want to throw out there and then leave it, but first to talk about next week. Mm-hmm. There are like exactly 2+ times in Han's life where he actually thinks something through, in the sense that he is actually thinking about tomorrow as opposed to just in the moment. And that is going back to Corellia to get Kira and staying with the rebellion. Those are the only 2 times in his entire life he actually thinks things through.
Would you say that then in Solo, it's the first time he's thinking past tomorrow?
I hate you.
Honestly,
so
I
much.
knew you were gonna. You're just on your bullshit today, Miranda. And I
I'm
just wanna
really
say
feeling
I appreciate
myself.
it.
We've been listening to Hamilton because we've been putting together furniture, and somehow we do those things at the same time.
I mean, that's absolutely going to be making a daily appearance on the Cedar Road Trip West. So,
God damn it. I remembered my questions.
Yes, great.
One of them, the one that I forgot was, when did this book come out?
it came out
right before Solo.
I think it came out on the day
of.
Solo came out.
Yes,
if
you're
I'm
right.
remembering correctly. Because I think they didn't want to introduce Kira to us until the movie.
Which made sense.
And my second question, Dad, have you read this before?
Yes, I read it when it came out.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Kristen, you can keep talking because the next point is yours, I think.
Oh, no, that's mine.
Oh, excellent. Go.
I don't make points. What the fuck? I wrote still hot under Kira. That was the point that I put on this outline.
Your
Kira,
observation
when
of
jailbait and when slightly less jailbait, still hot.
God.
So I just think,
Jesus.
in talking about kind of like how Han and Kira differ in their motivations and a little bit about their backgrounds and how they kind of approach life and, tactics in terms of being little white worm people. It's really interesting to me that they also, like, the both of them have these big secrets that they're trying to hide from everybody. And that they're, while they're both still trying to become head of however that power structure works, they're like off doing their own shit and are kind of displaying a sort of individuality that I don't know if Lady Proxima would necessarily want, because Han's building a speeder from scratch. Kira's living somewhere else half the time, apparently, in like some buried, broken down ship. But I just thought it was very interesting as I belch into the microphone that they do have something in common, and it's like something that we see them actively try to like not let that slip. They're like, totally. I have a solution, but I don't want to really bring it up. I want to try to play it off really cool, and they're both terrible at doing that.
Absolutely. I mean, which makes sense because they're fucking 18-year-olds. But it's that classic, like, kind of like, poor, like, Aladdin mentality of, I am dreaming of something bigger. Like, one day I will get out because I will be able to do this, like, cool thing. And I think if you're Lady Proxima, you don't want people to be cultivating their cool things, because then that has the potential of making you a liability or a threat down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Could we just have a moment for how dumb Lady Proxima is?
Accurate.
Isn't she like a slug? I haven't seen Solo since it came out.
She's a worm.
Yeah, she's
that's why they're the white worms.
Yeah, she's literally the thing that lives in the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's so dumb. She tries
she's
to
a
buy
worm.
stolen Imperial tech for like 65,000 credits.
It was 465.
I couldn't tell if that was like serious or not, though.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it was.
Also, Chris, spoilers. We don't know whether or not there's a real point to this shit yet.
Yeah, Chris. Besides to get them dead, so shut up.
Oh, are y'all assuming that she just sent them to die?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why she sent them, Chris. I want to read the rest of the book.
I'm assuming that she literally sent them to their deaths because she was probably like, they're getting far too clever for me and I can't control them.
Oh, that was totally not how I interpreted it. I interpreted it as she's really dumb.
Or she could be playing the long game.
Chris, why do you think women are stupid?
Great. Thanks for ruining the book, Dad.
Damn, all right.
I'm just kidding.
Speaking of fuck Chris.
I dropped my potato.
He dropped his
Chris.
potato. It's a hot potato.
Chris, I told you I don't want that potato touching anything except for your hands. What did it just touch, Chris?
The floor.
Yeah. You know what that is?
No, it's a floor
Bad.
potato.
It's not your hand, Chris.
It's called the ground when it's outside.
Okay, wow. There's a fun fact for you listeners. Anyway. Jesus Christ.
Come for the Star Wars. Stay for the knowledge.
Are we talking about them at different ages now?
Yes. So, this is a book that obviously has a really involved plot, and I'm very interested to find out what happens. But I think the principal purpose of this book, at least in its conception and publication, is to further flesh out Han and Kira's characters. And it's a really character-driven book, obviously. Like, Han and Kira are the only narrators. They're obviously, like, the central characters in Solo. So, as we do, just kind of wanted to trace, I guess, like, how they get from this book to who they are in the films. And for Han, we've done that quite a bit, because he shows up, of course, in the Aftermath trilogy and Last Shot and elsewhere. Obviously the sequel trilogy. So we kind of traced his life through the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, and a little bit of that in-between period, I guess, but not so much his younger years. And of course, Kira only shows up in this book and Solo. So we see, obviously, Han, he gets older. He gets to be a jaded, grumpy old man, aka he turns into Harrison Ford, literally. But when he's younger, he's just like, I don't know. Of course, in Solo, he learns like he shouldn't trust people, and A New Hope is kind of him learning to get back in touch with his good guy side again. But this book, he's just kind of like this wide-eyed innocent. Like he knows that like the world is dangerous and all this other stuff, but he's also like he seems super open to other people. You know, Sulo's his bro. Like for Kira's shocked when he just like starts spilling all the information about how he had to run out of that fucking meeting because people were trying to kill him. Like she was just like, why are you telling me all this? You're a fucking idiot. So he's just like seems a lot more willing to be like, friendship, I'll give you a dog biscuit, you know.
I mean, I think we can chalk that up to him being like 18, and we do see kind of the beginnings of him getting involved in the galactic underworld. Like he's in this gang, but I mean, I feel like the probably easiest solution, response, answer, whatever, is just like he grows up and gets off of Corellia and he sees some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, in Solo, we see him, he's been through the academy for a little bit. He's been a mud soldier dude. He goes running off with Woody Harrelson.
Yes.
The most boring character in all of Star Wars.
Oh my god.
Ding, ding, ding.
Like, you know, the kind of adventures he has between like this book and A New Hope all heavily involved super shady people who aren't necessarily trustworthy. So It's like you said, it's fascinating to see him here where he's just like, oh, I'll tell you anything.
I know, he's like
Here's
a puppy.
my whole
It's like
day.
I know. He's just like a puppy. Here's how my poop was this morning. Did you want to know? Like,
Yeah, the weight of the universe has absolutely not hit him yet.
Oh God, absolutely. I mean, he's older, obviously, in the sequel trilogy because Harrison Ford is older. But you can like really sense that. Oh God, what the fuck is my life like?
I mean, you can even sense it in A New Hope though, because like when he's like in A New Hope, don't get me wrong, he's still convinced of his own immortality. I mean, I think he's convinced of his own immortality until the second he dies. But like,
Yes.
he like in this book, even when he's like locked in a room with no visible way out, he's like, man, this seems bad. Like, whereas even in Solo, I feel like losing Kira at the beginning of Solo is kind of his first big wake-up call that like not everything is gonna work out if you just like try hard enough.
Yeah.
Like, being lucky and being scrappy is not actually a solution for the galaxy. And so, like, I feel like he still has that, like, nothing can go wrong. But also that, like, almost makes him dream small, too. Like, he's never had to dream of what's possible because, like, the only thing he's ever had to think about is, like, getting food the next day. And, like, what if I get to drive a speeder? That'd be pretty sweet.
Right. No, it's
Like,
totally true.
And so, like
He
it's
dead
kind
ass
of
thinks he's never gonna leave Corellia.
I know, and it's fascinating to compare that with later in Solo, or even in A New Hope, where like obviously he's like, you know, can't be tied down, man among the stars. But like, I feel like this lack of imagination is also tied to this lack of consequences. Like he's freer with his own life, but at the same time can't even comprehend the galaxy.
Right. That the way you were describing young Han kind of reminded me of baby Anakin in Phantom Menace.
Now I'm just imagining grown-up Anakin
Are
meeting
you an
Han when Leia brought him home.
angel?
Oh my god.
I'm putting the pod.
I'm gonna
Han
kickflip
young
off.
Han would have beat the shit out of young
Right.
Anakin. Sorry, go
Right.
ahead.
Correct.
Miranda.
I'm gonna kickflip off of what Chris was saying. And you kind of were touching on it a little bit, but I think because right now too, Han, like, he doesn't know anything but Corellia, and he's dreaming small and of his, you know, maybe flying a speeder or whatever. He can get away with that, or with kind of just going on his luck because everything is like so low stakes. And like it's something, you know, in the gang he like knows all the sewers, he knows his way around Coronet City. He has the institutional knowledge to be able to talk himself out of anything. And I think that, you know, because he has that, he can do that. He can like figure things out. And I think it'd be really interesting to see something kind of again in that in-between period where he's not quite the guy that we see in A New Hope who's really been around the galaxy and is like, he knows what he's doing, but where he's kind of first starting out like as a smuggler. And like seeing how, because obviously he's still going to be successful to some extent. He's very charming. He's good at what he does, but like building that up, I think would be something cool.
That'd make a great like little comic miniseries. I feel like just Han fucking up his first job with Chewie or whatever the hell. It'd be amazing.
Does anyone besides Marvel want to write it so that we can read it?
Yeah,
I mean, wasn't one of his first jobs fucking up getting the phalanx?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shot with Santa?
well, by that
Why
time,
did you throw it out the fucking airlock? You said I was bluffing, you idiot.
oh my
She
God.
definitely likes me.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, by that time he's already met Sana and stuff. I definitely one of his very early adventures. So that fucking idiot.
It almost makes sense how 10 years later he still has no money and is deeply in debt.
Miranda, I liked what you were just saying about stakes because I think you're exactly right about Han, and I think one of the reasons why he and Kira are so different in their motivations and their mindset is because Kira knows what the stakes are. Like, she did not probably ever expect to reach the age of 18-ish, having, you know, grown up in the silo. So, yeah.
Yeah, no,
I think that's a great point.
That's a great point that you made too. I keep forgetting about the silo part. But I think they do explicitly say when they like go to the bottom that the average life expectancy for like the kids in the silo is under 18.
Yeah, which that fucking sucks. It's like fucking working in a diamond mine in Africa, for Christ's sakes. It's awful.
Okay, we are assuming also, sorry, I'm just being Chris right now. We're assuming that what did they say? Rotations. We're assuming that one rotation is equal to 365 Earth days.
Excuse you. A rotation.
A
A cycle.
Sorry.
A cycle's a year. I think a rotation is a month. Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay,
Kristen,
never mind.
God.
Is that canon?
Yes, if I'm remembering the terms correctly. It's rotation, cycle, and something else.
Cool. I will cordially go
Whatever.
fuck myself then.
Yeah,
Cordially.
Kristen.
Go eat yourself.
I will go yote. Be yotin'.
You, Kristen doth yote.
Miranda, I apologize for being wrong about everything all the time.
Wait, why am I sorry?
I said I was
Man.
sorry.
Oh.
Now you really do know what it's like to be Chris.
I would have to interrupt everyone constantly.
Pow pow.
With completely irrelevant, snarky, dumb comments. It's true. Anyway, can we talk about Kira?
Literally head and bottoms. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Kira. She has an apostrophe in her name.
She sure does. She's also apparently still hot, as according to Kristen.
She is. What? She sounds hot when they describe her in the book, too.
Oh my god.
She's also like 18 in this.
Yeah, very unclear which side of 18 she's fallen on right now, Kristen.
Can I live?
literally
Throwing it
no.
out there.
Okay.
Literally no.
But if we want to kind of do the same thing for Kira and like look at where she is in Most Wanted and the only other time we see her in Solo, which is not, is it when she's 23?
Well, it's also gonna be that 3 years after.
Oh, yeah, but in her early 20s.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. But
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. Jesus.
Oh boy.
Wow.
You know, I think
At no point in Solo is anyone 22.
There's
You don't
lots
know
of
when her-
background
You
characters.
don't know when her fucking birthday
Not a
is.
single
Chris.
person is 22 years old. Not a single one.
They all just skipped that year.
Care.
It's canon.
Let me sing. Stop trying to stifle my candle flame.
Orabesh numerals skip from 21 to 23.
Why do you have
There's
to
also
ruin my
X's.
life?
Yes, Miranda.
So I think I think that Kira's progression in her character is also like very. It makes sense to me because we've talked a lot this episode about her being pretty calculating as an 18-year-old, and when we see her in Solo, like when they go to the Black Sun.
Yes.
Black Sun.
Crimson Dawn?
Crimson Dawn. Which
Thank
one is she
you.
part of?
Crimson Dawn.
The one.
Black Sun is a
That would
thing.
be Red Spot.
Just
Look
so
for the big
everyone
red.
knows, I did text Quinn to ask him, one, why he was being so fucking loud, and two, to ask him what the thermostat reads in the house right now, and it's 84.
Ugh.
Okay, but did we get an answer as to why he's being so fucking loud?
Chris, why are you
Because
being
he
so
was
fucking
winning the
loud? I'm gonna
Stanley
text you
Cup.
right now.
That's
Oh my God, I'm
that's
gonna-
why. It's because the Blues just won the Stanley Cup. He
Good
literally
for them.
responded to me. It's
Good
the
for
cup,
any
babe.
non-Boston team.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Gonna watch that video later in sub. Okay, but so we see her with Crimson Dawn, and like when they meet, she's like definitely playing a role, and it's like part of a bigger scheme. And then she's obviously like way deeper in this than we all think.
Yes.
And I think that a lot of it is just her like understanding power dynamics, understanding relationships between beings, and like how to approach this and how to run a syndicate, or like at least a small part of one.
Spider Mall. Spider Mall.
Oh, for
What? Did you
Christ's
not think I was
sakes.
going to bring him up?
There
We're
was
talking
a-
about when
there's a-
she's 23. Spider Mall. He's her boss. He's her boss. His name's Spider Mall.
Kristen.
What?
Kristen.
I don't know what I was expecting.
Kristen.
I'm not wrong. That's factually correct, which is better than I
I,
usually do on the podcast.
Great.
Whatever.
I do think that one thing that has changed for Kira from Most Wanted and the beginning of Solo to who she is when she's like in deep with Crimson Dawn is that she, Chris, I think you were saying like she's kind of willing to lie to herself and like believe that people have her best interest at heart just because they take an interest in her abilities. And by the time we get to like the bulk of the plot of Solo, she's under no illusions that it's every being for themselves, and if she isn't looking out for number one, then literally no one else will be, except probably for Han, which she honestly, I don't think she understands that. I don't think she understands that here, and I don't think she quite understands it in Solo. I think she like almost gets there at the end, but then she's just like, well, I'm gonna take this really sweet yacht and leave and yeet Dryden's dead body out the window. Bye.
I think she understands it. She just thinks it's dumb.
Yeah. Here.
At the end of Solo, I'll say. Not in this.
Right. Well, is thinking it dumb the same as not quite understanding it? Because she's not letting herself open her, like she's not even opening up to that.
In a sense,
I mean, that's
probably.
a deeper philosophical question, yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Also, I'm
That's
just
more of a
imagining-
does she,
Go.
that's more of like a does she truly understand it kind of question.
Well, sure.
Yeah, only the Force knows. I'm just like imagining this like meta conversation where like Kira's like, I never make the same mistake twice, and Han's just like, joke's on you, I only make the same mistake.
Chris, what if you repeated that point but into the microphone?
That was literally into the microphone. I don't know what you're talking about.
Kate, is he lying?
He's sitting back in his chair, so not cool. So
With the
kind of.
microphone pointed at my face hole.
It's
Yeah, you have to be close to the fucking mic, Chris.
I am close to...
No. You're a good like
You have
3
to-
inches away.
Now I am.
Like you have to
Oh,
be like
great.
fucking here.
like speaking
Yes,
of giving
like
head.
that. Just like that. You need to put your lips to the microphone. Can you repeat your point, please?
No, because it was a joke and now it's not funny.
Okay, great.
It's never funny. Oh my god.
Make sure to keep it all in.
Listeners, sound off if you heard it.
Great.
Looking at you, Daniel Anodi.
Oh my god. I think another thing I just like want to point out about Kira and her motivations and her character development and what all else. I just want to point out that Solo was written by two dudes, one of whom has set forth some wild and misogynistic crapola on Twitter, which I'm not going to get into, besides the fact that he just set like hundreds of trolls on Abby Gleason, co-host of the Lousy Beautiful Town pod, which was super great of him to do to a 20-something woman when he's like, I don't know what the fuck he is, 40, whatever the hell.
John Kasdan's like half a step short of a comic skater.
Accurate.
He's not good, people.
So script written by dudes, and Emilia Clarke, who plays Kira, as she does with like almost everything she's been in, because pretty much all of it's written by dudes. Cough cough, Game of Thrones. She's the one who like honestly like elevates her characters and makes her characters like seriously like badass, complex, like interesting women. And so while I was definitely able to like glean like her motivations and her like character development in Solo, it's not because of the writing, I don't think. I think it's because of Emilia's acting, because she's fucking incredible. And so in contrast to that, I don't know if Rae Carson was able to look at more than just the script before she wrote Most Wanted, probably because Solo's production was fucking trash fire. Probably didn't actually get to see any footage, but I think she really picked up on the same things that Emilia did probably in the script, like, and extrapolated on those. Like, I think Kira's motivations and her complexity are really, really apparent in this book, and I think it matches up perfectly with the person that Emilia is portraying on the screen. And I just thought that was super cool and super good writing, unlike John Kasdan.
Unlike Solo.
Yeah.
And I like Solo, but
Yeah.
it's funny because so many people are like, Solo feels the most like the original trilogy, and I'm like, I don't know that you mean that as a compliment. Like, that doesn't mean what you think it means.
Do you mean that it looks like claymation, or okay?
It's like when people like call Filoni the spiritual successor to George Lucas. I'm like, again, I know you think what you're saying is a compliment.
Oh God.
But it's not.
Yes, like
We'll talk about this later, but someone wrote on this outline, #make Solo 2 happen.
that was me. We're gonna talk about it.
Is
That
that
was
a real
you?
thing?
Yes.
Oh God, you didn't see this on Twitter, Kristen? It was a whole thing.
We'll
I'm
talk
like,
about-
make
we'll talk
Solo
about
2
it in
happen
the
and
wrap.
just make it about Spider Mall.
Yeah, what if we don't? What if we make different movies happen? Anyway, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk
What
about
if-
it in the wrap. I
what
have
if
thoughts.
Chris talking into the mic is really
I'm
the question
literally,
we're all asking?
I'm talking into the mic.
You're
Literally, I'm talking into the mic.
no.
You have to put your lips onto the microphone, Chris.
I'm literally talking into the mic.
This is
Perfect.
obscene,
That
guys.
is great.
I should have taken a picture for the gram.
This podcast is not safe for children.
It's not safe for work. It's not safe for children. It's probably not really safe for anyone to listen to at this point.
It's barely safe for your health. Like, let's be real.
Okay, we're gonna. Okay, Ray Carson, if you're listening to this, we are so sorry. Chris, just we're stopping there. Just do the fucking outro, Jesus. Fuck me.
Man, Emilia Clarke is definitely a member of the write her a role that's worthy of her club, along with Sophie Turner.
I know. Like, I just admire that Emilia clearly just, you know, she's the person who made this character, and like truly following in the footsteps of Carrie Fisher, being written by dudes who don't fucking get it.
And she's like, no. Let me do this. Like,
Yep.
Watch me fucking
Yep.
work. You guys are shit.
It's true. And she does it with a smile on her face. God bless her.
Chris,
Chris?
do the outro.
Oh, are we actually done? I thought Kate was just telling me to shut up.
No,
The only
no, I was
point
telling
that's-
everybody.
The only point that's left
I was telling
is
everybody shut up.
still hot.
Okay.
Great.
We already
I was
went
telling
over
everybody
that.
shut the
That's still
fuck up.
Cool. Well, thanks for listening to episode 91 of the
Fuck.
Book Wars Pod. Next week, we're going to be continuing and finishing up the reading part of Most Wanted. reading chapter 11 through to the end, which is not what it says in our outline, but that is the correct number.
I swear to God, I changed that. I'm sorry.
In the meantime, hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at BookWarsPod, bookwarspod@gmail.com if you want to email us, and rate, review, and subscribe to both us and the Tashi Station Radio Mega Feed on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, anywhere podcasts are sold.
This podcast is free, though. No one would pay for this.
You're selling your soul by listening to it.
Yo, there are Patreon subscribers to the Tashi Station Radio Network. So technically there are people who pay for this pod.
Some
sure
innocent
are.
people whom we have duped pay for this.
There
Anyway.
sure are. If you want to be one of those poor saps, you can donate to the Tashi Station Radio Patreon or give us coffee at ko-fi.com. Shout out to the person who gave us coffee. I don't know who you are on Twitter, and that's really the only way we ever know people truly in this cruel world.
Which is our fault, really.
If you're on Instagram,
So
let
I'm
us
not going to
know.
call you out.
Come find us.
But yeah, let us know who you are. And also, everybody who saw the lovely picture of Pork Chop not eating Most Wanted, that is this person's doing. So thank them. You know, just say a little prayer for the person who gave coffee to Book Wars Pod.
Say a little prayer for the next book we take a picture of Pork Chop with that'll actually be as good and not fucking nibble on it.
I mean, what book are we reading next?
Wait, did he try to eat this?
Oh, he always tries
No,
to eat
he
books.
usually he didn't eat this one. He
Yeah.
usually tries to eat them.
Yes,
He is his hunger for knowledge is voracious.
it's true.
Anyway, give us coffee, ko-fi.com/bookwarspod. It really helps us cover our hosting and production costs. Our theme song is Whiz Bang by Poddington Bear. Our logo and artwork are by Joe Butera Design. For the full crew of Kate, Kristen, and Miranda, I'm Chris. Thank you so much for listening to episode 91 of the Book Wars Pod, and we will be back next week.
I'm so sorry, guys.
I'm not.
Oh, somebody give me a fucking ice pack.
What are you fucking doing?
You talking to me?
Who's touching things?
He's a loud boy.
That was Kate made our noise a minute ago.
Did I?
She's a
Yes.
loud boy.
It sounded
Wait.
like someone was fucking with the boom.
Oh, that was absolutely Chris.
Okay, that might have been me.